was so insecure about how I looked. An insecure child can never even dream about pageantry, let alone applying and going through that process. I never looked at a beauty queen or a celebrity and thought, oh, that could be me. In fact, it was always the opposite. I would watch movies and I would watch TV and I would watch Sushmita or a Priyanka Chopra, and I'd be like, yeah, I can never be looking like them, but can I be like them? So I tried to focus more on that. Hello, I am Sonal Kukreja. I'm Miss Diva Supranational 2023, going to represent India and Poland. I am from Jaipur and Delhi, so mixed between the two cities. I've learned a lot from Delhi, how to be an independent woman and be unabashedly myself. And I think in Jaipur I've learned to be graceful, how to be kind and compassionate. I have a background in marketing and business analytics. And apart from that, I also have a crypto startup by the name of Unicast. So with that, I have worked towards providing financial independence for people in India and our country. There was a big phase of my life which I think still carries forward, and I'm still carrying it forward with me, which is the fact that I was so insecure about how I looked. You know how in India there's a big colorism. I think a lot of people face that, and I face that because my sister is much lighter than me, than my complexion. So girls in school would comment and pick up on it. Ghar pe, I would end up thinking myself, I would put my hand next to hers and be like, oh, yours is lighter, that means you're prettier, you're better. And in my head, 4-5-year-old child, when they start to do this, then you start to do it in every aspect where oh, I'm not good enough. And that kept happening to me. And I never felt that I could actually do anything, be chosen for anything. And that seeped into so many different aspects of me. I think this pageant also was important for me to come to face with all of that. So growing up, I would get into a lot of accidents. I had multiple even road accidents, but I would fall all the time. I was into sports. A lot of people told me not to play sports, you'll get tanned, this and that, you'll be darker. And in my head I was like, oh yeah, I can't swim. So I would restrict myself. Oh, kali ho jaoge. You can't be out playing basketball. I used to love basketball, I left it. I would restrict myself based on how people in the society told me. But I feel like life has a way where when you resist something, it keeps persisting. So the more I was resisting, I hope not one more scar. God, please, not one more this thing. I would get another one right after. The recent one was a dog biting me across my face. Like a husky, beautiful husky. We played for 2 hours while he was leaving. He just snapped at me, got scared. It adds the cherry on the cake that I didn't need. The cake that I didn't want to have, and now the cherry I didn't need. Oh, all those insecurities when I'm like, that's it. Now I will never show my face or be in front of the camera for anything. I'll do everything else that does not require this. And I was like, oh, if I'm smarter, if I use more of my brain, so one's gonna see, it'll get camouflaged. Funnily enough, a part of me also told me that now I don't think anything worse can happen. Sometimes when you're now things have hit rock bottom, something in me told me that's it. Ab isse zyada hoga, we'll deal with it, but let's just go and figure life out. So when this opportunity came my way of being a part of Miss India organization or applying for Miss Diva, I was just like, okay, I think, what? I closed my eyes and filled the 10-minute application. That's what happened, and didn't even look further. And it was literally just almost as a joke in my head. I didn't even tell my parents, my family, friends, nobody. Because a part of me was like, it's never gonna happen, so let's let it be. But when I heard that I got accepted, and they announce in a certain way, so that they announce the top 100, top 50, then comes the top 20 or 16 depending on the year. And when the final call came, that's when I'm like, oh my god, something shifted. It was almost like, okay, now I have 2 weeks to go to Mumbai and live a different life. I didn't even know if I was ready for it, but I just went ahead. it makes me emotional as soon as you ask that, because we're talking also about like me growing up and things like that. And I'm thinking about my younger version. To feel like a beauty queen, you just have to tell yourself whatever stories you have, whatever weaknesses you have, you look at all of it and you tell yourself, so what? Can you move beyond that? That's the first step to feeling. Because to feel like a beauty queen, you have to first feel like, okay, despite of everything that you don't have, let's look at what you have. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. There's no person who just has strengths. Whether it's a beauty queen, whether it's any president, even in social media, you are looking at people's highlights. You're not looking at the whole story. To feel like it, you have to feel and believe in your strengths first. Look at what's nice about you. It could be one thing. You like your eyes, it could be your eyes. A lot of the times I look at my eyes and I'm like, yeah, they do twinkle when I'm talking about something I love. And I love that about me, that it's so real. You can see through my eyes. You love that about yourself, keep that as your strength. And whenever you're feeling down, whenever I'm feeling down, let's say about my scars, where I'm like, yeah, I'm not the perfect face, my face is not symmetrical. But I'm like, but my eyes actually do tell a good story. Can I look at that? You get yourself out of your downs, looking at your highs, and that's the first step. So think about what your strengths are and market them. It is so important to have that understanding and then showcase that, to have an identity or a brand of yourself. As a beauty queen, you're subjected to a lot of people's opinions. So it is important to be resilient. It is important to overcome those challenges on the go. And again, stay strong and true to your core. What I've learned is also important is discipline. I think there's no two ways about it. You have to have discipline and consistency in the effort you put in and the work you're putting in. And even the relationships, you're meeting so many important people. You are establishing, as I said, yourself as a brand. So have the discipline to show up every single day and take responsibility, have integrity, that even if you're not able to do something, communicate. When you do that, you become a strong person in your mind and the minds of other people. Apart from that, I also feel like you can always work on skills. Talents, like the more you give it time, the better it gets. A lot of the times I think people give up because the first day they're not looking at they're looking at the end goal and they're like, oh, but I'm not there yet, but it's their first day. And I'm like, you can't compare your first day to how you want to be in the future. You have to have a goal to progress. There's nothing permanent, I feel, in life. Things change, you also change, you grow. We have to address that. So address that and give yourself the time and patience. Very, very important to excel. And again, confidence. Look at your strengths and be confident in those. It'll overshadow all of the things that are not working for you right now. All those filters and layers that we have, right, they always show at the foreground. In this journey, I've learned how to put that away, connect with myself, and start from there. So it all stems from that. Of course, when you understand that, I feel then there also comes a sense of clarity that you operate with. So that clarity is very important to be a beauty queen, because as they say, it's beauty on the inside that reflects on the outside. But that is about clarity of thought, clarity of what you want to be doing in the future, where you see yourself, and how do you want to position yourself so that people can take inspiration from you, because you are standing at a stage where so many young minds are looking at you. So it's really important to get that. I think there's a lot of pillars, and that's how I like to see it when you talk about preparation for an international pageant. There's a whole army of people that are preparing you literally every single day, and these are in every aspect. So I had walk training, which is very important when you're walking on a runway, how to have your posture, how to walk. I had communications training, so an expert all the way from UK, Supreet Bedi, helped me out with my content, how to frame it in the best way. So how to frame my ideas in a way that is accepted by everyone or can be understood by people at large. I had a voice crafting specialist, Mona's ma'am. She's been so kind to help me connect with my voice. I've realized there's a whole universe of, I would say, the vocal box and what it can do. So I've learned that and how to utilize it. I've had hair training. which is the fourth one. Very important to get this look, to get a nice blowout. Makeup training. What else? I've also really had mentors help me in terms of life coaching. So what I envision for myself, for the country also being in this position, how do I want my views to be put out in a way that is a representation of India, not just Sonal Kukreja alone. Wardrobe, there is so many people like who are working with me, my stylists, they're putting together an incredible wardrobe, and I have designers from all over India that have helped out to get me ready and to get my wardrobe ready for the runway and the international stage. Apart from that, of course, fitness is a big branch. We're going to the 8th one, but there's so many steps that go into the picture. And what you see as the end result is one part of it, but there's a lot behind the scenes that happens. The world is progressing. Especially our generation, I feel, is the one to talk about a lot of things. And I do think that dialogue does bring in change, because you're addressing and acknowledging something that's not been changed for so many years. It begins from that. Even throughout the pageant, I've had interactions. I went to this foundation called the Tweet Foundation, and it's a trans-led community. And they spoke to me about this, that we want to be a model, we want to be on a runway, but not a trans-specific. We want to be a part of the regular runway. We want to get those opportunities. We're passionate about being in front of the camera. They like to dress up. A lot of them address that. Especially, I think trans women love to dress up, love to express themselves through fashion, through clothes, makeup. And I feel the fact that they're now going in, learning that's change. We have to acknowledge that change. Of course, there can be a lot more in terms of action that can be taken place, but I'm glad that progress is happening day by day. Even for age, for that matter, I know friends myself who could not apply or could not be a part of let's say the modeling industry because of criteria. Even in modeling, my height is short sometimes, and I look at other models, I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I am really tall on an everyday basis, but modeling criteria is way high, especially the ones who make it as supermodels. So I understand that's still there, but I feel like the fact that things are changing, we're headed in the right direction. And I would love to advocate for such change, similar change, so people can feel included. Because again, I would hate to restrict and put that label on beauty and what beauty means. I feel especially somebody like me who never thought she was beautiful, I would never want another girl to feel like that. So we're headed in the right direction, and I'd love to be somebody who can actually advocate for such change. Skincare has been a part of my life for years now, because I was the baby who didn't want to look a certain way. So I would do my uptans and haldi and besan and brightening and glow things and everything. So I ended up learning a lot about skincare. And even beneath the makeup, I'm somebody who's a skincare fanatic, because I feel that's when your makeup also looks a certain way. So you could cover it up as much as you want, but you won't still feel that until you've worked on your skin. So diet, very, very important. I take care of my diet a lot. I'm somebody who also believes in holistic wellness. So I'll take care of what I put in my body in terms of food, but also superfoods, supplements. Especially for skin, what's worked out for me is amla. I put amla powder in my water in the morning and some lemon. It does wonders for the skin. It really clears out acne. It increases blood flow to your cells. That works really well, and it's also an antioxidant. So that I never go to bed with makeup on or a dirty face. If you've been out all day, definitely clean your skin. And even if you're applying aloe vera gel at night, do that. Don't just skip that, because skin needs hydration and works best at night. So these things I am very, very mindful of, and I've loved doing. Pehle I was doing to run away from how I looked. Now I do it because I feel it's almost therapeutic. I like taking care of my skin now. And what happens is when you start taking care of your body, your body also responds. The good thing is your body is always listening. When I was telling myself I'm not attractive, I'm this, that, my body was still listening. Today when I tell myself, I look in the mirror and I'm like, I love you. And that honestly is one more tip. I want every girl, every man, every person to do this. you wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and mean it when you say it, that I love you. When you do that, you start to feel good. Your body releases feel-good hormones, first of all, so it's science. But then also it gives you so much courage to then go on and deal with life, because you're like, I'm there with me, now let's see what happens. So that is more important than any other skincare well-being. That's like number one step to well-being, I think, for me. Sonal Kukreja likes to just be free. So on the daily, and that is something I've also tried to include in this journey, with or without makeup. I like to have fun in life, and by that I mean just truly do things that make me feel alive. A lot of times I talk about this. I love grocery shopping. You'll see me on my day off just being out on the streets of Bandra, dancing around. I'll have my AirPods on, I'll have a grocery bag with me, I'll be wearing my sneakers or a hat on, and I'm just on the go dancing and listening to music. That's how I like to unwind and chill in life also. I love giving hugs, so I'll be doing that. I love like making fun of my friends. Even my team, my peers, I'll do that. I'll do a little thing that will make them smile. So that is me off camera, I would say, or off duty. Of course, I'm going on a world stage. A part of me is so scared to be on that stage. You have to wear a swimsuit. You know, that part also, when a lot of people ask me that, oh, are you okay doing that? You're wearing that on a global stage. And to me, I feel like that's my biggest challenge. Like, if I can do that, nothing to hide, no designer clothes, nothing. When you're there, then all you take with you is your self-belief and confidence. And if you can do that, then you can do anything. I think even if I'm scared, even if I'm insecure, I can put that to a side, and then let's see what happens. And I feel if I could go back and tell my younger self that, that's the only thing I would tell her. That don't be so scared of life. Go on, you don't even know what's in store for you.